Good evening and welcome to Here's the Life with Zemrrah and Ed, right here at IntellectualRadio.com. We hope that you have had a great day today and doing some of the things that you wanted to do, decided to do, and love doing. I want to talk about my concert that is coming up faster and faster. October 18th on a Saturday. Bring your sweetie out because it is Sweetest Day, 7 p.m. sharp at South Suburban College. We got a new location at 15800 South State Street, and it is in South Holland, Illinois. We are just so excited because we have joining me, opening up for me, awesome saxophonist, which is my favorite instrument, Mr. Mark Allen Felton, better known as Panther himself. This brother has been all over the world playing for all your greats. He is absolutely phenomenal, and I promise you that you are in for a treat. You can go to my website, I am Zemrrah, and a pop-up will come where you just hit it and it'll take you straight to Eventbrite, and you can get your tickets right there. That's general admission. If you decide that you want a VIP, which is going and almost gone, because at this location we are limited. We can only do 100 VIPs, and they're just about gone. People always like that because you get special seating, you get a beautiful gift bag, and then of course the concert. And you get food, rather. I'm sorry. You get a meal. Yeah, you get a meal. So they go like that. And what we love about this location and what really is exciting about it is there is a separate entrance for the VIPs. So it's in the atrium of the school. And so you're not hustling, bustling with the people coming in for general admission. So it's going to be a very, very wonderful evening, all new music. Got some great treats for you. We're doing a tribute to Miss Roberta Flack, and it's just going to be wonderful. So we want you to get your tickets. They're going fast. Today is the 2nd of September, so we want to make sure that you get the opportunity to come and check out a wonderful show, a great way to spend the evening on Sweetest Day. We're going to give out roses to our ladies, and it's going to be real nice. We have some great vendors joining us too. So, matter of fact, we got a girl that does ties, actual ties for women. And so we're going to make sure that we support our own. This is both of my sisters, and another girl does the butter, with the shea butter. Yeah, she does shea butter. So you're in for a treat. Again, that's Saturday, October 18th at South Suburban College. And that's 15800 South. What'd you say, babe?
Doors open at 6.
Oh, yeah. Doors open at 6 for general admission. So make sure you come out and check us out. We also have on the 18th of September this month at the Bistro, right there in Lansing at 174th in Torrance. That's where we're having our promo party. So you'll get a chance to meet and greet me, get the opportunity to purchase tickets. We always have a raffle where we raffle off maybe 3 or 4 tickets, and just eat and drink, and it's a nice place. We want to come out and support that.
The food at the bistro is delicious.
I did too, but we're gonna check it out too. But it used to be Dixie Kitchen. Dixie Kitchen is further down now.
It moved south, yes.
Yeah, but it's at the bistro September, and that's on a Thursday evening, and it's from 5 to 8. So I want you to come out and join me for that too. Again, September 18th. We're going to have some flyers that'll be coming out probably midweek this week. Well, midweek, tomorrow's Wednesday, huh? So probably by the weekend, probably by Friday or Saturday. But you will, we have your email. definitely just check me out. Again, go to my website and the information will be right there too. Again, I am Zemrrah.com. Now, what we're going to
Hmm.
do is we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of Ed's favorite subjects, and that's when we're talking about Africa and informative information. Uh,
Reparations and stuff like that.
yeah. So, Ed, you're a TV guy, and you've kind of he's always watched your movies and well, he still watches a little comedy and he does his sports, of course, but he's even kind of pulled back a little bit, surprisingly, even on his sports. And I'm really saying, man, because he is really into this YouTube thing, and he discovered um, the first black man on earth, right?
Right.
So tell us a little bit about what you discovered, which was very, very interesting. And then we're going to continue on with some more information that you have found to be very, very interesting. And the good thing is that he says uh, he feels good about it. So tell us a
Oh,
little
I
bit
feel
about.
good. Well, I became information nut. When I on TV, instead of watching things that didn't feed me or feed my soul or give me any information about who I am, I stopped watching. I stopped watching YouTube, and I came across the because they had different programs that you just don't get on regular TV.
Mm.
So the genealogists and the scientists had discovered that there was a brother that died in South Carolina back in the early 2000s named Albert
In
Perry.
the 2000s?
Yes, he passed away.
Okay.
Well, when they did, what they were doing a genealogy testing on him to find out his lineage, to do a family tree, and they did his DNA research and found out, it surprised everyone, that his DNA was a Y chromosome that hadn't been around for the last 30,000 years.
Wow.
That his DNA, the Y special Y chromosome, was older than the United States. It was older than man itself. But they predict, historians say that man evolved 20,000 years ago, 120,000 20,000 years ago from the caveman and all that, which they found that was wrong because this man, genealogy, his DNA was 330,000 years old.
Wow.
300, that was before Indians. And they found it out of a man from North Carolina that I lived, uh, that had been around longer than the Indians, which means the original Indians were black. Africa was an African tribe. The original man was, the DNA is older than the Neanderthals.
Wow.
So we've been on this earth. Matter of fact, we were the first humans, civilized humans, on the planet. And that's not, I'm just saying that because it's nice to hear, but scientists have proven it. But have you ever heard about it? No. Why? Because they do not want you to know.
And why would that be?
It's because if you did, it would change the way you looked at yourself. You would be the first human. You would know that you are not inferior. You are not second class. You are not third class or third world country type person. You were here from the beginning, before there was a beginning.
Well, biblically, it says that we were here before. So,
Not yet, but the Bible has taught you different, that Christianity came from Europe.
okay.
That's what's being taught, and that Jesus was a white man. So that narrative is blown out of the water. That's why they have not made a big deal out of it. It's not a big announcement on TV. It's not a news flash. And this is several years ago that they discovered this.
Well, they don't do a whole lot of news flashing about
Yeah,
uh,
but how are you going to know?
what's on YouTube. You don't always get that on the news anyway.
Well, you're not going to get it. So,
Right.
so you have to ask yourself. I've always thought that if something came over the news, it was a news flash that was newsworthy.
Right.
I ask myself, why do they want me to know this? Because if they didn't want you to know it, it would not be on TV. It would not be announced on the news. So if you're looking for the truth to be always come from the news people, you're in trouble because it will not be televised. Like the brothers used to say back in the 60s, the revolution will not be televised. You are not going to hear it on TV. No matter how true it is, you won't hear about it till years and years later, maybe. And this was years and years ago, but never, it was the biggest discovery in modern history. But nobody said anything about it. Nobody.
Wow.
Nobody. Why? Because it identified who you are.
But
How would
like I
that
was
happen?
asking you, don't we pretty much know who we are?
No, we do not. You assume that,
Okay.
but we don't know that. And if we do know it, we don't believe it.
Okay. So
You
what is it?
cannot believe that and act the way you act and have the kind of situation you're living in now and not attack the government for doing the wrong thing, not putting people in power that has your best interest. You cannot know that and have those things go down unless you just admit you have no control. But even if you have no control, if you knew that, it would change the way you thought about everything. Everything would change if you knew that you are the first and original man of this planet and the origin of all civilization and all over the world. The first Chinese, the first Orientals, the first DNA. When I was in Vietnam, the Vietnamese, the original Vietnamese,
Yeah.
all looked like African people. They were
Really?
all dark, brown, all black people. They were. They called them the mountain yards. They lived in the jungle, but they were the
Wow.
first people until DNA became spliced together and mixed with other races and got lighter and lighter. But the original people, most civilizations, are black people, are African descendants, and that's the news that just came out. But you're not going to hear it on the news. But scientists know it. You can Google it, and they'll tell you it is true. But there have been no big announcements about it.
Now you ask. You saw the other day about and you know AI is real. It's real getting kind of popular now. What was it? The question that you had asked AI a
Oh,
question?
well, I didn't actually. It was a brother on a YouTube channel here on a podcast. He asked the question. Well, and he asked AI. He said, "If you had to come to this planet the way it is now and live among the people, what race would you come as?" He told AI, and the computer said, based on recent history and the things that's been going down in the country and on this planet, and the suffering that other people have done and have outlived it
Because then you said you
and
said some.
overcame it.
Didn't he say if you said something about if you were God or the chosen?
No, he said that we were. He
I
said, "What would you come as?" He said, "I would come as a black person." And the guy was shocked. He was like, "Why would you want to come as a black person? The most persecuted, disrespected people on earth?" He said, "Precisely because of that. Because behind all of that, you still have endured. You endured everything, and still you rise.
now that's true.
That makes you stronger. That makes you the strongest on the planet." So
We're
if I,
resilient. I mean, we keep it moving.
he said, "So if I had to come back as anybody, I would come back as I would be black."
Wow.
And then he said, and the guy was stunned. He said, he's almost started crying. He's like, "Nobody ever wanted me to be number one." He said, but he asked a second question. Then why wouldn't you want to become white? Why didn't you choose a white person? And what he said was, I'm paraphrasing here because I didn't say the whole thing. He said, because of all the trouble in the world and the crime and wars that have been started against other people, it's all been done by white people. He said, everything they have, they stole. And they had the audacity to put it in a museum. Everything they stole, like it was an artifact. It wasn't an artifact. These belonged to people who were already there. Like when they came to this country, Africans and Indians were already here because the Indians used to trade with the Africans. See, but what they do is they assimilate, then they kill off the other people, then they rename it and call it their own.
Now, what is the African, the president that you listen to? What is his name, and what are you
Well,
been a
here's the great thing about that. You can see how the world is changing. It's
right?
changing its shape. That what we thought was right is wrong. That's what's going on in Israel is wrong. Those are people that are chosen people is wrong. Ibrahim Traoré is the president of a landlocked country called Burkina Faso in Africa. What he did was he formed a coup, a military coup and took over his government. Not because he wanted to be president, but because he saw the wrongs that was going on. And I didn't know it until I started watching the channel how much the European hold they had over the entire continent of Africa. They have presidents who are black and African, but they control everything. And why? They control the resources. That's what they
Always,
want.
yeah,
They
always.
control the gold, the diamonds, the uranium, the things that they use to make computers, those type of minerals. And Africa has more of it than any place else on earth. So they colonized these places, took them over and introduced their culture, gave them the Bible and Jesus and taught Catholicism. So a lot of Africans are Catholic. He said, but the people are poor. So they use that poorness or that idea or that image of poor, hungry, barefoot children
Hmm.
to, to televise that to the Western world. So that'll give you the image of what the Africa is. But it's not. It's not true. He said, well, I don't want to go to Africa because everybody down there, they're killing each other. They got coups going on. They're chopping up people in the street. That's what you believe. But that's what they want you to believe because that's how they maintain control. Well, he knew that because he went to college. He studied political science.
Now, who knew that?
Ibrahim Traoré,
Okay.
he became the president after his coup. He was a captain in the army.
Hmm.
He took over at a coup.
Okay.
But what he did was he kicked the Europeans out, took over his government. His country is one of the third or fourth largest gold mines in the world. So
Really?
why you have that kind of riches, have your money backed by gold and everything else, and be poor, and your people are begging for food and don't have adequate housing, running water, no lights, living out in the country with nothing? How can that be? So it didn't work for him. He didn't figure it out. He said something's wrong here.
Absolutely.
So he had the courage to take over it and told him that I don't want anything. I don't want. That's why he wears a uniform or military garment. He doesn't wear presidential type, you know,
Dress.
dress with the limousine, like a lot of other African presidents. They have the same entourage with them.
Very chicly dressed,
Right,
and
and they're all wearing boat neckties and whatnot, and $1,000 suits, going to their meetings with the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, making arrangements, cutting deals, signing contracts for billions of dollars in aid, which is tied to that aid is control.
what do you think that he's kind of militant?
Yeah,
Okay.
his thing is the land belongs to the people, the resources belong to the people. I don't want to be president. I don't want to have an entourage or anything like that. He said, I'm just making sure that what the land gives up goes back to the people.
And so, what has been the
He's built schools. He built he rebuilt his airport. He, he, Burkina Faso Airlines. He built schools. He made sure that the people in the country can get health care. He had mobile health care vans. They invented what what I can't get my words together. Um, there was these airplanes that fly.
helicopter?
No, not the helicopter. Drones.
Oh, oh,
They
oh, yeah. Okay.
they built a drone that they can do just like the United States and other countries that they operate remotely. that you can't even see. They have night vision and cameras. They haven't weaponized them, but they for security purposes. And they found out that out of all the gold ore that was shipped out of the country,
Hmm.
like 100,000 tons, they've been reported to the government that they only got 10,000 tons.
Really?
90,000 went unrecorded and was shipped out of the country through a back channel, just back to Spain and England and France, mostly France,
Yeah.
which has a whole backlog of gold, but there's no gold in France. They get it all from Africa. So he
Wow.
so he took the gold mines, took control of the gold mines and kicked them out. Found that they were using child labor. Children were dying in the mines. 12 years old, 10 years old, and they were paying them $1 a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And working
but
them.
no, but people didn't know that because they worked out autonomously because they let them run their own gold mine. Because we let you rent the land, you pay us a percentage of what you dig up. Whatever you create, you get to give us a percentage. But the percentage was was it was so small that you didn't know any better until he checked. He investigated in there and found out they had ripped them off for about $1.2 billion.
What?
And he said we could have used that money to buy food for our people. He said
Absolutely.
why are we riding around
Starving and going through all
on
that
dirt roads? Because that's the image the rest of the world wants you to see
for
for
Africa.
Africa. So that when somebody tells you I'm going back to Africa, you're like, I ain't going there. I know what that is. That's like, no, it's not. We talking tollways, talking high
Well, they
class
have Americanized, just like the
high
same thing
top
with
rated
Israel.
hotels, but they don't own their government. They don't run their economy. They're not autonomous to anybody. They're not a sovereign nation because they don't make their own laws. So they started making their own laws. And what they did was they put the Europeans out. So they decolonized their country. And it's only like three countries like that. The rest of them are thinking about it to see how it goes with him. So when he tried to do it at first, the West decided to boycott everything, cut off his money, close all his accounts, cut off his food supply. They did everything to starve him and make him uh, change his mind and let them back in.
But he didn't.
He said no. He said my dignity is worth more than food.
All right now.
He said so we'll make it any way we can. But what happened was he got help from other people. Instead of going to Europe and the United States and the International Monetary Fund, he got help from China and Russia. He said, I don't care what the politics are. If they treat us like equals or like partners instead of like slaves, he said, I'll deal with them. And that's what they did. But they tried to cut that off. But they knew for back channel that the world didn't have access to information about how they get stuff in and out, even in the ports, the shipping ports. They closed them down. So what they did was he bought a whole shipping port from another country so he can get his goods and services out. Now they're growing their own food. And
That's very interesting
but
because I know you'd be glued to
there's a
listening.
lot. There's another country in Africa just built the first electric car. One brother built a car that needed no fuel whatsoever, ever. It ran off the energy in the air.
Really?
They drove it for like a week. It never needed charging. The battery stayed charged at 95%.
Now, what car was that?
It's in Africa. You're not going to ever hear about it. Not here, not in this country. You know what that
Man.
would do to the auto industry, to the oil people, to the gas people? This guy doesn't need anything. And the ones they got are more efficient than Tesla. Put Tesla out of business. Matter of fact, Tesla was opening up a giant factory in Africa. He had to shut it down.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
He had to get that up because it was no comparison.
Well, it was no comparison, but were they buying them?
In Africa, yeah. In this country, as you were saying, we don't need Western markets. There's, there's,
Self-sufficient.
there's 2 billion people in Africa. We don't need to trade.
So I think what you're doing is you are dismissing that myth about Africa.
That's what you have to.
Because they say Ghana is just absolutely. Matter of fact, Wilda Belt of Wilda Travel, Fund Travel, she's getting ready to take out a group September 22nd to Ghana.
But you got to go. You can't believe what people tell you. Like when we went.
Well, when I went, it was, I was in Liberia.
Yeah, but that was 20, 30
And then
years
Israel,
ago.
yeah.
Everything's changed since then.
Right.
So it's different now. But you can see God moving. He's preparing the place for you to go. Because you can't do that with this place. You can try. Everybody hope it is. But before you die, you need to go home and check it out. Even if you don't stay. There's only a remnant that's going to be taken to rebuild our country, our continent. Only a remnant. And what Ibrahim Traoré is doing, letting you know that you don't need to make a profit. He said, I don't need money. He said, because the entire country is mine. My people is all I need. He has 150,000 new homes he built and gave it to the people for free. While you living in a hut with a tin shelf and boards on top to keep out the rain and living in the mud. And this is, what is this, 2025? And that was perfectly all right when people didn't know about it. But now that people know, he changed, I'm changing all of that. And because of that, of course, he had about 10 or 15 attempts on his life. Because if you don't go along with their program, they get rid of you.
Now, as far as tourists and what does that look like?
Well, a lot of tourists have already gone. A lot of our the big entertainers have gone. Dave Chappelle, Oprah, they went to visit to see. And a lot.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, Tyler Perry went just to see for himself.
Yeah, I heard that knew about David
And a
Chappelle.
lot of other African countries are taking note that maybe they should do the same thing. So, yeah, you don't need the colonizers running your country. You can run it yourself. But the West and the Europe don't believe that the Africans can do that. So if they can do that, then you have a choice. I ain't got to sit here and argue with Trump. We know what he's going to do. I ain't got to guess. That's why I don't watch it anymore. Why? I already know his character. Anything that's said about him, it's not a big surprise to me. That's why black people are not up in arms about the economy. They know the deal. They know there's nothing. They know there's nothing that they can do. Y'all got to deal this with yourself. That's why a lot of like the white population wonder how come African Americans are not up in arms about this trade deal and this importations and stuff that Trump is doing. How come we're not protesting in the street?
Yeah, well, it's like we said,
we
you
know the deal.
deal with things that you can do something about and things you can't.
But we know that this is all prophesied. It's going to happen anyway. And the worse it gets, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Why? Because it has to. You're not going to really rebel against anything until it hurts. Until it's really ridiculous at this, and now it's not harmful to you. As long as it's harmful for somebody else and their suffering is cool. But when it starts happening to you, it's a different story. Now you're going like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing it to them. But you don't understand. These people don't care what color you are. They're about power. Any color, they don't care.
Yeah.
So those are the things that the world is changing. That gives me hope and makes me, feel that things are going to get better, but they got to get worse first. But that's okay, because that's the way it's planned. And the worse it gets, the better it's going to get. And now you have potentially in years, maybe I won't be able to see it, but there will be a country that loves to see you coming. And you can go and build you a townhouse with a pool overlooking the ocean. And if I notice one thing, if you look on the the TV, the special that he gave, and every time they give a special and show his people, you know there are no fat people in that country.
Really? Well, you said they are they eating?
Yeah, no,
Well,
not
maybe
right.
that's why they were. But maybe that's why because they wasn't
You
eating
know,
at that time.
you gets all the fine cotton in the world comes out of Africa.
Yeah, because that's where you can get
Yeah,
some awesome fabric. I
yeah.
do know that.
Africa has the best cotton.
Well, in
But
Israel too,
yeah, but you know,
beautiful Oh, I used to get some beautiful fabric when I was there.
but it all comes, but it comes. The raw material leaves Africa, gets refined, and sold back to Africa at that higher price. So, so they stopped.
Yeah, because fabric and I know fabric in Israel was not very expensive, neither in Africa either.
So, so
So now it might be a little bit
oh,
more expensive
it's a big
because the
difference. Big difference.
cotton and silk is just fabulous.
Because it's originally came out of Africa,
Right.
but Africa was not reaping the benefits of that because they wasn't getting the retail price. They were getting the wholesale. They were taking the raw material, refining it in Europe, then sending it back to the world. Take a diamond for get it for little nothing, refine it, send it back to the world, and make millions. Doing the same thing with all the other uh, minerals and wealth in the country. They so what they did was they stopped the export of all raw materials. He said, we'll refine it and then we'll sell it to you.
Okay.
So instead of you buying a bunch of cotton and selling it to them, and they come back and say your dress was $250, they said, we'll do our own. We'll refine our own material.
That makes sense.
It makes a whole lot of sense, but they weren't doing it. I was surprised to find that most of the countries in Africa were run by other countries. It wasn't run by Africa. The president lived good. He had a palace and whatnot, two or three limousines, you know, and had people waiting on him. He comes to the meeting in IMF or comes to NATO dressed in a suit and the entourage, all that kind of stuff, with a flag in front of him.
And that seemed like
But he
that
didn't run.
always has to be.
But he didn't run his country. He didn't call the shots. Europe called the shots.
And why did I always think, it's always your leaders that always have to be so.
But they have to. They're being told exactly how to act, just like everybody else on the planet is told what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what you should aspire to. Most of the people in Burkina Faso, all the young people, they aspire to grow up and leave the country because they say there's no opportunity there. So they go to Europe. They don't come try. They come to try to,
And they come to
and
America.
they come to America.
Right.
And they're in New York. They'll tell you.
Right.
And England is the same way. Paris, France, Germany. They're trying to get in there. They don't want them there, but they try to get because they want to get something better out of life than where they are now. That the countries are starting to develop themselves, they don't have to leave. They can get a good job in IT in medicine
But I
in
still
their own
think,
country.
but I still think young people, they still, they want to come to America.
Of course, there's
America the
nothing
great, they
ain't
say.
nothing wrong with that. Like I said, only a remnant of people are going to go home and rebuild the country from here. African Americans are going to leave. They've already started. Thousands have left already. And some ladies I went to visit and decided I was never coming back at all.
Really.
Because the pace is different. The spirit is different. You're around your own people. You have to look over your shoulder. You got to worry about the police. Nobody coming to serve papers on you. Nothing. He says because it's a much slower pace that you've forgotten that we used to live. It's more spiritual. Sitting out in the fresh air at 2 o'clock in the morning, talking to people, having some coffee. Didn't worry about the time. Ain't worried about the weekend. I got to get up, go to work Monday morning. They go to work anyway because it's fun, because it's their country. And all they do is supporting their own people. So a lot of you just volunteer. Like most of his security forces volunteer. They say if you touch him, you got to touch me. And this is thousands of people.
Now, what about now? They talk about the education there because I think that's a lot of reasons why a lot of your younger people,
They
and I
leave.
mean, they come here and thrive.
Yeah, but look what you're learning.
What?
What are you learning? If it's not technical, it's a waste of time. You get a master's degree in what? Sociology?
What when they come here? I mean, they become doctors,
But
lawyers,
they don't take it back to Africa.
teachers. No, because they're coming here, I guess, with the mindset of wealth.
So Africa needs to be schooled there. That's why you open up colleges. And that
But have they done that?
yeah, they've done it already. Matter of fact, college education is free. You don't have to pay anything. You don't get no. You don't need a student loan
Oh, really?
from grammar school to college is free.
Oh, grammar school's free here too.
I mean, there's no
You're just talking about
talking
college.
about college. Elderly people get
And what are some of the?
all the seniors get all their medicine free. They
Now
open
that's
they
good.
open up clinics all over the place. All what they call mobile clinics. They can go out into the fields or into the country, see people, and they got women don't have to worry about pregnancy. That's paid for.
Oh, that's good.
Everything instead of have to wait a month or 2 months to get an MRI, and you got to travel to a city 50 miles away to get it done. He's buying more MRI machines and put them all over the country. That's helping your people.
Absolutely.
Now you looking at me, you say, well, where they get that from? I'll be the number 4 or 5 gold reserve in the world. They got gold bars coming out the ground. You know, they just took charge of it and stopped the looting of Africa, because that's what it was, looting.
Well, I think you have to. There has to be an association. You can't. You just go there and just think that.
No, ain't nothing easy like that.
Right.
If you're gonna pack up, that's why that's why it's not for everybody. Somebody who are pioneers. Everybody did not leave Europe and come to America.
Right.
Couple of shiploads was it. They came back to tell other people how good it was, and they decided they might come. It's the same thing here. You go, there are certain people who are adventurous, who are tired of the way this system is, and know that they cannot change this system. We are those of us who believe that they can change the system, and that the system it belongs to them too. And they're right. They helped build it. They died for it. It's still theirs, but they don't control it. And they think that one day they'll be able to make a difference. So they ain't leaving. Everybody didn't leave Egypt. Only a handful,
Mhm.
only a remnant
Right.
that has the nerve and the courage to go out and face the unknown and make it work.
Because I do hear more and more people speak of Africa and the richness and very excited to go.
It's the richest continent on the planet.
Yeah.
And God already told you what to do. He said, "Come out of her, my people." But you say, "Yeah, that's fine, but where am I gonna go?" Now you
I
know.
guess what I look at, I think that, and I look and like I'm listening to what you're saying, and I've watched a little bit of that, but how and like I've been to and that's been years ago though when I did go, and then I've listened to Wilda, her experiences going to Ghana. She really talks about Ghana more than um, like Liberia and the other African states
Yeah.
or countries. She talks very and Malka's
It
another
was
one
not,
that loves
Ghana
Ghana.
is a little more metropolitan
And I think that's what draws more
because it's more
people of color there because it's more
right.
Americanized.
Because you're American.
Right,
You've been Americanized.
right.
You know,
Is there anybody
you don't
going
live
where
in the
you got to
country.
where you? Because I know when I was in Liberia, the experience. I mean,
It was
the
country.
toilets you
It was country.
didn't flood. Right,
Look, I grew up in New Orleans, so it was worse than that. We
Eh,
did have outhouses. I got, we were housed. We had regular houses.
in New Orleans.
Yeah,
Okay.
but back in the 50s, it was country, and that's what Africa is, but it's a mix of rural and high tech because they didn't have dial-up phones. They went straight from you know no phones at all to computers to cell phones. Everybody got a cell phone.
Everybody. Key is everybody.
Everybody got a cell phone.
Yeah.
But they had the higher tech. They get it first. They manufacture it.
Yeah.
Their phones are better than ours, and their
Wow.
drones are better than ours because they have creativity going on. They make whatever they need. They make it. They ain't wait for somebody to give them something with the government to create it and give it to them. They make it. Then they show it to the government. See there, we got a plane that don't need no pilot.
I heard that now
he
because
said,
they,
he said, what? What? Why? How'd y'all do that? He said, I got uh, a car that don't need no gas and no fuel at all. Scientifically speaking, it runs itself. But you think about it, you shouldn't have to charge a battery because once the car gets going, it charges itself. You can design it so it recharges the battery like the ours do now, but it doesn't hold enough because it's not built. The battery's not built sophisticated enough to do that, to hold a charge indefinitely. It should maintain 100 volts all the time. And the juice that it's using doesn't come from that. Comes from the excess.
hmm
So it should never have to run low.
right.
So your battery should last forever. It's supposed to. And that's what this car does. They drove it for 2 weeks and then it never.
Well, that ain't lasting forever. 2 weeks.
I said, no, that's just what they just drove it. They drove it for longer than that.
Okay.
It just wouldn't stop because it was instead of being refueled, it's electric. So it was charging itself continuously.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's what the world said.
Wow.
That's interesting, but
Yeah.
you're not going to hear about it. Not in America. You're not going to hear about it. He said, you can take any shit all you want, but you'll never see it here until we can control it. You don't hear about anything unless we can control it.
Yeah.
I don't know how good it is. If we can't control it and make money on it, you'll never see it.
Well, this has been very interesting, Mr. Sherman.
But
Your segment, I mean, because it is amazing how you have absorbed
but you make
all of that
you
and
made a
see.
make up a show for what I do on my spare time.
Did what? Well, no, because it's interesting because you don't really watch TV as much as you watch YouTube now.
It's not
That's why I
TV.
said we need to get rid of Xfinity and just
No,
go with YouTube
if it
TV
if it
because you,
doesn't educate me or provide me with information that'll help me in daily life, I don't really need it. It's a waste. I much rather watch comics,
yeah,
comedians, or hardcore, sports, or to get out that violent tendency,
yeah,
or something like that. But as far as sitcoms and all that kind of stuff, I just I'm not interested.
yeah.
It doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't feed my soul.
And so that's all that matters. What feeds your soul is what
Right.
feeds your soul.
So in the coming years, we intend to visit Africa.
We will,
And we'll be be before I die. We'll be going back to check it out.
and we will do that.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we'll just set up. Well, you've heard hopefully, some good information that I was not really and truly aware of as much as Ed because he's so, um, and it's always good to like you said, feed your soul and
Mhm.
get information that you can that does something for you. I think that's really good.
Yeah, but when you think back in history of the original Hebrew Israelites, they ran the world, but they were always in pursuit and always criticized because they weren't a warlike people. They were conscious, intelligent people, spiritual, that spread spiritual and consciousness all over the world.
But we are a spiritual people.
Yeah,
That's what makes us
so they go like, well,
number
you're
one.
not, but you're not strong. So other countries had to protect us because they knew we were right and that we were children of God.
Yes.
And you can't be that and be a killer too.
Yes.
So
Well, I thank you for this segment. It was very, very interesting.
I'm
I
surprised.
hope that everyone out there got something out of it. It was that was really good information because people do have a different idea of
Yeah, but
Africa.
if you know you get see if Italians get
Again, you have to know who you are.
if the Italians get oppressed in this country, they can go home. They get on the plane, even just a visit, just to restore their soul because they're surrounded by their own people.
That's true.
We don't have that. So when
Yeah.
you get it, you need to take advantage of it. Say, you know
Yes.
what? Let me go where I'm surrounded by my people
Yeah.
and see how I feel. I can come back. You can come back if you want to. Stay in Egypt. Stay in America.
Yeah.
Live here. You don't give up your house. If you like it, fine. But now you got an option. You can at least go look and see and just vacation
Yeah. Nothing's wrong with that.
and just to restore your energy, your soul, and then come back here and fight some more.
Yeah.
But
Well, thank you so much for that. That was wonderful. Again, you're here at IntellectualRadio.com with Zemrrah and Ed. That was really good, though, Ed. I hope a lot of people heard that. And I do know that we are going to take that visit and go and check out Ghana. I do want to do that. But I want you to also make sure that you check out my Here's the Life #8. Here's the Life concert
it's going to be a
coming.
blast.
Yes,
The
coming
best ever.
Saturday, October 18th. Doors open at 6 for our general admission, and our general admission is $45. Our VIP is 75, which includes a beautiful gift bag, special seating, and your dinner. So doors open for that at 5 p.m. And VIP tickets go fast; they're just about gone. And
Call up quick.
yeah, go to my website, but you can only go to website for general admission. But VIP, you can call Miss Wilda Belt at 312-399-6256. That's Miss Wilda Belt. 312 399-6256. Miss Wilda Belt, who is wonderful. She chairs my concert. She's on it, and I just love her for it. Weta Prater does all of my media stuff. My grandson is doing some management for me. It's just wonderful. We don't miss nothing. She's just on it. You can take out an ad. We have a wonderful ad book. And you can call Wilda about taking out an ad. You can take a business card size, a full page, a half a page. We have the front and center cover, which some of that is moving fast. It usually goes fast. But it's a great way, and it will get in the hands of 405 people or 404 people. Uh, they take everybody gets a book, so that means you got businesses that you can check out. So again, um, go to my music. We're on all platforms and check out I Am Zemrrah. We're here again at IntellectualRadio.com every Tuesday. Next Tuesday is our Giro, our enthusiast, Miss Pamela Wilkes, will be joining us. We just love her. And again, you're here. We always want to thank our producers for having a platform that we can express and say the things that we feel and give you some good information. Again, I am Zemrrah. And Ed?
I'm just a sub note.
Thanks for having us. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
He's surprised that was